Hello everyone, I am Parikshit Saikia and welcome to another very exciting session on Unacademy CATalyst. Your IIFT exam is just a few days away now and I hope the preparations are going on in full swing. We in Unacademy have tried our best to help you in the journey to crack your IIFT. This is a special series, a series wherein we have come out with a set of 100 most important LRDI questions specially tuned for the IIFT. Remember, these are questions which have repeated in past IIFT papers and also mock IIFT papers, and these are must solve questions. So make sure you watch the entire 15-20 minutes of this video because you don't want to miss out on anything important if you're serious about your IIFT preparation. As always, the first thing I'm going to tell you, give me 5 seconds to ensure that I'm streaming live before we get started with today's session. Okay, I think we are streaming live and we are good to start. Small notification at the start. On your screen are Unacademy learners who have cracked the CAT with flying colors. We have 100 percentiler in DILR and 99.8 percentilers overall. A lot of them. And we in Unacademy definitely believe that you can be one amongst the next. Okay. Also, the Unacademy Combat is scheduled every alternate Sunday, right? So the next Unacademy Combat is scheduled for this Sunday, the 24th of January from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Here, it's like a mock exam. You can appear for, you can give questions, right? Practice questions from almost every chapter. And this helps you to judge where you stand with respect to your competitors. You're serious about your CAT preparation, this is definitely a must enroll thing. Remember, you can access Unacademy Combat absolutely free if you register as a new first time user and use the invite code Parikshit Saikia. Remember, if you register as a new user with a new mobile number which has not been registered on Unacademy before, only then you will be able to use this invite code Parikshit Saikia. Also, there are a lot of new batches starting. A weekday evening batch, an absolute weekday morning batch, and a working professional batch. So there is something for almost every one of you. And also today morning, right? Today morning, just after this YouTube session, there is a free session. 10:15 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. Absolutely free session on speed maths. Remember, a lot of you have been asking me, the IIFT DI questions are really calculation intensive. So how do we calculate fast? So I'm going to show you a lot of techniques which will help you to do your calculations really fast for your IIFT exam. This is an absolutely free session. You'll be able to view this session on the Unacademy app or on the Unacademy website. So absolutely free today morning, just after this session, 10:15 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. Make sure you join me live because then and there you can ask me doubts. If you watch the recordings, probably the feature of asking doubts, right, will not be available. Let's get started with today's session. Okay, let's take up a previous IIFT question. This is from IIFT 2011, right? Okay, let's check this. Sampada Apartment is a housing society formed by a group of professors of a university. It has 6 flats on a floor in 2 rows facing north and south, which are allotted to Professor Purohit, Qureshi, Rathore, Sawan, Tripathi and Usman. Okay, remember there are 2 rows, total of 6 flats, and there are 2 rows facing the north and the south. So let's draw it. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So can I say these people will face the south? Let's assume that these face the south and these face the north. Okay, let's start. Professor Qureshi gets a north-facing face flat and is not next to Professor Sawan. So Qureshi is Professor Q, right? I will say is somewhere out here in the north-facing flats, but he is not next to Professor S. But you know what? Q and S are not together to each other. So just make a note of it. Next, Professor S and Professor U get their flats which are diagonally opposite each other. Diagonally. Now be very careful. It can be S can be out here. Okay. And you know what? U can be out here. U can be out here. or it can be vice versa, or it can be vice versa, right? So, or it can be U can be here, S can be here, right? Or it can be like this, S can be here, U can be here, or, so let's draw that as scenario 2. Let's draw that as scenario 2, okay? I think that'll be better. So, this is scenario 1, this is scenario 2, okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, S can come here, in that case, U will be here, or in that case, S is out there, so in that case, U will be here, or if U is out here, S is out there. Correct? Okay. Next, I hope you know what's a diagonal, right? Okay, next. Professor Rathore gets a south-facing flat, okay, which is next to Professor Usman. Oh, Rathore is south-facing and Rathore is next to you. Rathore is south-facing and Rathore is next to you. So can I say you must also be south-facing? Will you agree? Rathore is next to you. Rathore is south-facing and he is next to you. So it also means you is south-facing. Awesome. If U is south facing, so S has to be north facing. S has to be north facing. So again, in scenario 2, U is south facing, S has to be north facing. Remember, Professor Rathore is next to Professor U. So in scenario 1, this will be the case. In scenario 2, this will be the case. Next, Professor Tripathi is north facing. Professor Tripathi is north facing. If Professor Tripathi is not facing, where will the professor come? Where will the professor come? North facing. North facing. Remember, so how will you put them? How will you put them? Yes. I hope you're getting it, right? Professor Tripathi will also be out here. Will also be out here. Right? Now remember, Q and S are not adjacent to each other. If they are not adjacent to each other, it means, remember, Q and T has to go here. Remember, Q cannot be next to S. So definitely in that case, Q will be out here and T will be out here. Correct? In scenario 2, what will happen in scenario 2? Remember, Q cannot be next to S. So Q will be out here and T will be out here. Who is remaining? Professor P is remaining, right? Purohit. So P is going to the only empty space and you fill up everything, right? Let's look at the questions now. So I think it's a pretty easy one. I think it's a pretty easy one provided you are able to capture the data well. Remember, there are two questions. Which of the following professors get south-facing flats? So PRU, PRNU. Option C. Next, if the flats of Professor T and Professor P are interchanged, whose flat will be next to you? Remember, T and P are interchanged. If you interchange T and P, does it affect the neighbor of U? Does it affect the neighbor of U? No, right? Still the neighbor of U is R in both the cases. So answer is Professor Rathore. Correct? So I think it's a pretty easy one, and these are type of questions. These are the type of questions that you got to attempt in your IIFT paper. Let's take up the next set. Let's take up the next set. Okay. So let's look at this. The line graph gives the percentage increase in value and quantity sold of an item manufactured by a company across 5 years. The increase in value each year is with respect to that in the previous year. So please be very careful of the data. What is the data? It says percentage increase. Percentage increase. As an example, if you look, you see the kite shape is the price. So imagine, so what is it? The top graph, right? The top line graph is the price. As an example, what does this 5 indicate? The 5 indicates that whatever was the price last year, this year there has been an increase of 5%. Whatever was the price. Similarly, in 2010, whatever was the price last year, this year there has been an increase of 8%. Similarly, 2011, increase of 10%. Now here people might make a mistake. Remember 7. Now because the graph is coming down doesn't mean that the prices are decreasing. Remember, the question clearly tells you it is a percentage increase graph. So last year the percentage increase was 10, very high. But this year, I mean in 2012, let's say, the percentage increase was just 7. So lesser than the last year. That is why the graph is coming down. But still it's not a decrease. Whatever was the price in 2011, over that there has been an increase of 7%. Let's look at question number 3. Okay. What was the approximate increase in the price of item from 2008 to 2011? 2008 to 2011. Correct? Let's check this now. Okay, so it's very easy to calculate. Let's start. 2008, assume some number. I think the easiest way is to assume some number. Remember, IIFT, there are no calculators allowed. So you got to assume some number. Whatever number you want, I think the easiest number to calculate is 100. 2009, if you look, what has happened? There has been an increase of 5% over the previous year. It means 100 plus 5 rupees, 105. Next year, what has happened? 8% increase, 8%. So how will you visualize? Remember, 10% means 10.5. So what is 1%? 1% means 1.05. If you have to calculate 1% of a number, put a decimal before the last 2 digits. So 1% of 105 is 1.05. So what is 8% into 8? So 44, 8.40. 8.40. So 105 plus 8.40 will become 113.40. Next year, how much? 10% increase next year. 10%. 10% means put a decimal before the unit digit. So it is approximately, I'm saying approximately 11.3. 11.3. You don't have to go to the second place of decimal. 11.3 is good enough, right? So how much this is? 124.70. So that's your answer. So what is your answer? 100 has become 124.70. What is the percentage increase? Approximately 25% increase. 100 becoming approximately 125, meaning there is a 25% increase. Got it? Easy one. Remember, IIFT, no calculators are allowed. So you got to assume easy numbers. I assumed 100, 2008. You can assume any other number. You will get the same answer. But remember, 100 is the easiest number to calculate. Let's go to the next one. Number 4. If the price of an item in 2010 was rupees 620, then what was its price in 2012? So let's have a look. 2010, 2011, 2012. Correct? So 2010, they are saying the price is 620. Now I don't want to take their number. I think it's always better if I take my own number, because my own numbers are easy to calculate. Okay, so let's take our own numbers. 2010, they are saying 620 and you need the price in 2012. So I'll take it as, let's say, 100. You can take any other assumption, but I think 100 is the easiest number to calculate. Okay, let's start again. 2010, it is 100, right? So what is 2011? 10% increase. Perfect. If it is a 10% increase, it means 10% of 100 is 10. It would become 110. Correct? Next year, how much? 7% increase. 7%. Remember, 1% means put a decimal before the last 2 digits from the right hand side. So 10%. So 1%. How much is 1%? Put a decimal before the last 2 digits from the right side. Matlab 1.1. So if 1% is 1.1, remember you need a 7% increase. So 7% got to be 7.7. 7.7. So the increase is 7.7. So 110 plus 7.7 is 117.7. Now this would have been your answer, but I hope you agree to the fact that these are your assumed numbers. What is the author saying? The author is saying, no, my number is not 100. You know what? My number is 620. 620. Perfect. Perfect. So now what you need to do? You need to make sure that your answer is converted to the author's answer. How do you convert that? You took 100 and did the sum. Author wants you to take it as 620. Fine. So 100 got to be multiplied as 6.2, right? So can I say the adjustment factor for your number to be converted to the author's number is 6.2. How did I get that 6.2? 100 into 6.2 will get you the author's number. My number into the multiplication factor is the author's number. Oh, it means every number that I assume got to be multiplied with 6.2 so that I get the author's answer, right? So multiply 117.7 into 6.2. How much will you get? Approximately 730. 7:30, approximately 7:30, and that's your answer. And that's your answer, which is option B. Got it? Easy one, I would say easy one. And these are the type of questions, I repeat, you got to pick up and do in your IIFT examination. Let's go to the third one. Let's go to the third one. Okay, number 5, I mean. Number 5. If the number of units sold by the company in 2011 was 5671. Okay, let's check this, very similar to what we did. Then how many units were sold in 2009? Okay, let's have a look. 2009 you have got, then you have got 2010, and then you have got 2011. Okay, you know what? I love to take my own numbers. I never take the author's number because I feel that my numbers are easier to calculate. Last step, I will make the adjustments. Okay, so let's start 2009 to 2011. So 2009, let's assume that the number of units sold is 100. You can assume any other number, you will get the same answer. Okay, I assumed it to be 100. You can assume it to be any other number. Remember, 100 is the easiest to calculate. Let's go to the next one. What will happen now? Quantity sold in 2010, there has been an increase of 6%. Can you see what is this? This is the percentage increase value. So 6% increase compared to the previous year, right? Perfect. So 100, 6% increase will become plus 6. So this will become 106. Correct? Next year, what has happened? 7% increase. 7%. So again, very easy. How do you calculate 1% of a number? Very easy. Put a decimal before the last 2 digits from the right hand side. So if you are putting a decimal before the last 2 digits, it means 1% is 1.06. 1% of 106. So 7%. Remember, you need 7%. 7% is into 7. So 42, 4, 7.42. 7.42. So the increase is plus 7.42. So how much will you get? 106 plus 7.42 will become 113.42. So this will be your answer. But you remember, these are your numbers. These are your numbers. What is the question saying? The author is saying, no. My number in 2011 is 5671. Fine. What will you do? You say that, okay, I'm going to make sure that my answers are converted to the author's so as to match the author's answers. So let's do that. Author is saying 2011 it is 5671. Fine. So what is the multiplying factor? What is the multiplying factor? Can I say 5671 is what you need, right? Divided by your answer. What is your answer? 113.42. So if you do the maths, please do the maths. How much will you get? 5671 divided by 113.42. You'll get your number as 50. You'll get your number as 50. Right? Perfect. It means the multiplying factor is 50. Perfect. Perfect. It means your number, your calculations, if you have to convert to the author's calculation, every number of yours got to be multiplied with 50. Perfect. So they are asking 2009. 2009, your answer was 100, but you remember, you got to give the author's answer. So what is the multiplying factor? 50. So into 50 you'll get your answer as 5,000. You'll get your answer as 5,000. So 5,000 is the answer. Got it? So 5,000 is none of these. Is none of these. Did you all get it? Very beautiful sum. Remember, again I repeat, in your IIFT, the calculations are going to be very lengthy. Don't take the author's number, that is why. Take your own numbers. Do the maths. Last step, make the adjustment. Last step, make the adjustment. Let's say you are getting your number as 100. Author is saying, no, this is 500. Fine. Whatever calculations you have done, every number you multiply by 5. That's it. You get the point, right? So very, very important that you do it this way. Otherwise, it's very difficult to do it fast, especially like exams like the IIFT, where the calculations are often lengthy. Okay, so be very sure that you take your own numbers and do your sum. Okay, and I've been getting a lot of requests these days how to calculate fast. I think with this in mind, I'm coming up with one special session today. It's a free session today morning, just after this, right? Another 20 minutes from now, we will start a free session today, 1 hour session, 10:15 to 11:15 on speed maths. How to calculate fast in your IIFT exam. How to do the calculations from. I'm going to show you some never seen before techniques. So 10:15 to 11:15, make sure that you join me live so that you don't miss out anything. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the class. In case you have liked the class, there was something to gain out of it, please hit the like button, because that is the only way we know that you are benefiting from the sessions, right? And we can continue to have more and more such sessions. Yes. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Keep practicing. Remember, LR and DI is not tough in the IIFT. It's highly scoring. Okay, it's lengthy, but it's scoring. So definitely practice with the timer on these last 3-4 days, whatever is remaining, right? Please practice with the timer on, because the timer is very essential at this stage. Okay, do not try to do a sum with, let's say, unlimited time. You don't have let's say a target of, let's say, solving a caselet in 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 7 minutes. Then it would be a completely wrong way of studying, especially these last few days, because you got to attune yourself to the exam environment, and if possible, give one mock IIFT paper also before your exam. That will help. Okay, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next session. Bye for now.